Again, the instructions are on the lid. I also put that handy dandy how to fold on the back here, because you're going to get into folding snowflakes, so it's pretty easy. So the objective of Center One is to examine the designs of snowflakes. And again, this is the only one on snowflakes. So we talk about the classifications for snowflake shapes. Again, we talk about how they form. And if you guys all remember the elf unit last spring on clouds and precipitation, you can go over that. We have a chart in here for that. I'll go through all this in a second. And then Icy Axe handout is talking about the diverse weather conditions and frozen precipitation takes other forms. So hail, freezing rain, sleet. And then hidden images is in here. I'll show you that too. And there's no right or wrong answer for the hidden images. You'll have your 5 kids looking at the thing, and it's like looking at clouds. They just are going to tell you what they think a snowflake looks like and what forms are in it. And then we have some models in our kit. This is a needle. It's 6-sided. If these get damaged, class coordinators let us know. And this is a hexagonal column and a capped column. So this just gives them a 3-dimensional picture rather than just looking at the book. And they, they can pass them around. They're easy to remake. There's a couple of books in here. But they'll be in here. And I think I started the good one. The really good one, again, is this field guide to snowflakes. It was really interesting. And these are the examples that I showed you in the black crate. There's also one master copy in here. So you'll take a paper and fold it along the dotted lines. It's not the most clear, so you might want to practice before you do it. This is the frog. And I will show you the frog. Well, I'll just show you all of it. Here's a bird. So when you start out, it looks like a bird. You can pass it around. How about? Here's the frog. So they're really fun. My first grader did one of them, so they are able to do them with small scissors and small hands. Dolphin. Yeah, it's just copy of paper. Dolphin. Duck. Meerkat. And penguin. So who's ever doing Center One, you might want to pay special attention. I'm going to show you how to fold one. It's kind of tricky, because one dotted line is missing, but it has dotted lines. And so I'm going to fold it in half, keeping the frog up. And try and make it as square as you can. And these copies have been run through a few times, so they're not exactly square. But give it a go.
Do you have one that you recommend for kindergarten?
Jake did the penguin or the platypus, not the songbird, or the duck. Not the duck. Not the songbird. I did that one in woods. So I just folded it in half, and now I just kind of had to wing it. So I folded it along the other dotted line that actually existed. But I also made sure, I'll show you on the other side, I made sure it fit on the frog side. And then on the front, the dotted line's missing on the other side of the animal on all of them. So you just have to fold it over there, right where the edge of the animal is. And you see I have a little overlap here and a lot on the back, so you just kind of fold it to match up with this original frog size. See I have all this left over. So I'm just going to fold it, trying to get the point to match. And then I have to fold it back one more time to get the back side to make it a big lots of accordion. Lots of folding.
Oh yeah.
And then I just want to
highly recommend you try it ahead of time.
You fold them all ahead of time then?
I would fold them ahead of time. Yep. Yep. There's copies in here and there's copies in there, and then I gave you the PTA code. I would choose maybe 3 per grade and let them pick. Because they also can freelance make you some. So in kindergarten or first grade, you might just want to let them freelance it. But these are pretty cool.
Well, and they've got the copy filters too, right?
Right.
The guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, the worst case scenario. Yeah.
So the most important thing when you do cut out the animals, I'll pass it around because I didn't do a very good job folding, but you need to look at those now that you still have them, and you got to cut and leave some white so that they can stick together. If you've made snow angels or anything like that. So I'll kind of pass it around. It's not the best fold. And if anybody wants to try one, does anybody want to know they're going to do this center? Is anybody excited about Center One already? Okay. Well, we'll leave them in there. So, that's the main part of the hands-on of this unit is the snowflake folding.
We'll make a copy for
Yeah, we didn't know which shapes you guys would want for your level, and so we didn't want to go to the expense of PTA of printing a bunch of ones that people maybe wouldn't use. So you can choose which ones you want out of the black crate ahead of time. Go get the copies that you want. You're gonna fold them ahead of time, depending on how much time you think you're gonna have, and then have to post them. The older kids, I definitely let them fold it though.
So here's the hidden images. I'll pass them around so you can just take a quick daydream through there and see what you see. I'll pass a couple around. So this is what we're talking about. I would definitely do these things before you do the cutting out because once you start crafting, you're going to lose them. Here's the water cycle we talked about last year. There's kind of two forms of it. The icy X, and then this was tiny water droplets gather around dust particles, freezing temperatures to make snowflakes. So it's a really simple diagram that shows how a snowflake is formed. And I'll just, they're not too exciting. And then the snow crystal type, Amy touched on those in the introduction. Here's a summary of all of them. It's a table that has all the different kinds of typical types of snowflakes. And then there's big drawings so that they can really look at them and see how fancy snowflakes are. And these would go with the 3D models, some of them, so.
And did you say that if you want your kids to make the 3D models, if you want to spend the time doing that in this unit to make the 3D ones, feel free. Like if you feel like they've already made snowflakes before.
Especially the older grades.
You want to do something different that they haven't done before, try to make the 3D models.
Yeah, you could pick out something from the book, and Alex was trying to do this, my third grader. So he picked out a picture and was trying to make some very elaborate design. There's a table in here, and they could put them in there and the other classes to use. And my last thing I have is just the regular six-sided snowflake. So I cut squares. You'll definitely want to do this before class, and then again you can fold them before class, and that's what's on the lid, the back side of my lid here. Or for the younger grades, you can use coffee filters.
Just because the reason you cut.
Yeah, then those animals. And so this is what it looks like folded. Whoops, I'll pass it around. It's not very exciting. And then here's one I cut out. So they're not nearly as ornate as the animals, but they're still pretty cool. They're six-sided, they're geometric.
Where do we get that?
They're symmetrical. It is, yep, it's on here.
Okay, so this was the handout that we had over here at the table when you guys walked in. I printed off 40 copies of it, so I may not have copied off enough.
How to fold
How to fold a six-sided snowflake.
It's called Make a Flake is the top title.
Yep.
So does anyone have any questions on Center One?
Carrie, which one were you
I don't have all the names, the penguin, the duck, and the platypus kind of.